What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to HCS Pro Talk, your weekly Halo esports podcast. This is episode 430 for the week of February 22nd, 2026. Title of this week's episode is The Return of the Passion, the LVT LAN Post-Show. My name is Josh, aka JK Fire, and Maxi FPS, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. And everybody that's tuning in live, thank you for being here. Hope everyone's having a great night, or great evening, I should say. I'm very tired, so I apologize in advance if energy levels may appear down, but we're going to fucking try to power through this shit. That's what we're going to do. We're going to power through. We got some stuff to talk about. What a weekend. God, what a weekend, man. It felt so good to have LAN Halo back. It felt so fucking good to have LAN Halo back. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, because on this week's episode of the show, of course, we have the LVT LAN Post-Show, because that's the whole fucking point. That's the whole fucking point. So, Texas Guy, welcome back. Dav, welcome back as well. Hope everyone's having a great night. Shall we get started? Let's just jump right into some competitive news. Halo Infinite Boomer event has been announced. This is by Cardinal Redbird, and she says, it's been a hot minute since we've had a Boomer-only event, 30-plus-year-olds. But it's time to bring it back. Halo Infinite 8v8 Squad Battle and Fun Customs on March 7th from 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tools, shut the fuck up. How about you just get older, all right? Well, just wait till you reach the bullshit end of the stick. Because that's where we're at. Like, man, once you hit 30, it's just, it is all fucking downhill. Beth with the 70 fucking month resub. God damn. You get a woo fucking day one right there. That's a day one sub right there. Thank you so much, Beth. Greatly appreciated as always. Just an absolute legend. An absolute legend. So I believe that the spots are filled for the Boomer event, but if you wanted to be a sub, like if you want to sign up to be a sub for a team that may lose a member or whatever it may be, make sure to reach out to her and she'll probably get you added to the list. So there you go. Next up, Halo Data Hive has an update. This is by Halo Data Hive, and they state that Face It events are now available on Halo Data Hive. He mentions that he basically has to reverse engineer how series work from Face It, so it could be an issue, but he wanted to do his best to bring them over to the website, and he did. So they're there now, which is great. And the final piece of competitive news here is going to be Small Talk number 4, the Cash Grab Recap. This is by Small over on Twitter. We conducted a survey that included fans, players, talent, and staff. Over 90% of respondents rated the first cash grab a 4 or 5 out of 5. The 2v2 format and prize structure were strongly validated by community feedback, while still leaving room for refinement and future experimentation. More than 30 people were involved in producing the event, including 16 players and a full broadcast team. The total production cost was approximately $13,000. The broadcast averaged around 500 viewers, peaked at around 700, reached 2,200 unique viewers, but generated only $150 in direct revenue. The event overview. The first cash grab event ran for 5 hours, not including the pre-roll countdown timer, and featured 16 players competing in a 2v2 format built around a prize mechanism designed to make every map meaningful. We intentionally avoided building a layered tournament structure with complex brackets and qualification systems. The format was meant to be simple, easy to follow, and focused on the gameplay itself. The feedback we received reinforced that decision. Many responses highlighted how fun and fresh the 2v2 structure felt, and how the prize mechanism ensured that every map carried weight. Viewers appreciated the more relaxed, community-oriented commentary style. Players and talent noted that the event felt smooth and well managed from an operational standpoint. All good things to hear. Some members of the community did request that we explore 4v4 formats and experiment with other maps and modes, but the majority of feedback indicated that this format worked. Our takeaway is that there is room for competitive Halo outside of the traditional 4v4 bracket model. Simplicity can still create meaningful competition when the gameplay and players themselves are allowed to shine, rather than being buried under an overly sophisticated tournament structure. I mean, if it was any indication, I think maybe the Money Tuesdays from LVT were a clear indicator that twos worked just fine and dandy from a broadcast standpoint. As a matter of fact, they were hype as fuck. I mean, we got a really fucking funny storyline out of it when, like with Bound and Renegade for the longest time, right? And how it's just funny because like there was the storylines coming out of the Money Tuesdays with Bound and Renegade, right? And then we transitioned into Infinite, and then they're competing against each other. Then they're competing alongside each other again. It was funny. It's cool how those things can happen, that those storylines can kind of transcend games and experiences. And that really started with, Money Tuesdays, brought to you by LVT Halo. So clearly it can work. Production and staffing. For those who may not be familiar with what it takes to execute something like this, here is a look at the staffing structure behind this first cash grab. There is a lead project manager, a social media manager, a broadcast producer, competitive operations lead, in-game observer and lobby host, video editor, graphic designer, graphic integrator, broadcast engineer, technical director, replay operator, host, forecasters, 16 players, and administrative support handling contracts, payments, and logistics. It's a long list. In total, more than 30 people came together to put on this show. Going forward, I plan to further delegate both the project management and social media roles by bringing on additional staff to free myself up more to focus on the business behind the brand rather than the direct execution of these events. This shift is necessary to make the events more reliable regardless of my bandwidth and to free me up to focus more on building out our revenue streams. What's up, Topher? Welcome back. Results. Here are the results from the first cash grab. Total Twitter impressions were around 160,000 plus. Total stream duration was around 5 hours, not including pre-roll countdown. The average viewers again were around 500, peak viewers around 700, unique viewers around 2,200, ad time per hour around 5 minutes. Total ad breaks about 28 minutes. New Twitch subscribers around 40 and total revenue around $150. There were also several watch party streams and individual player streams running during the event, which I would estimate accounted for an additional around 500 concurrent viewers. In the future, we would like to work more closely with those streamers to better integrate them into the event and promotional plans. We believe a rising tide lifts all boats, and we want to empower the community to create their own content from these moments rather than consolidating everything into a single channel. Tools. Would be curious about the 13,000 breakdown. Events are pretty expensive, but that's a bit steep. Saw that there was conversation in the Discord about how much it would cost if LVT did it. Yeah, I don't know if I mean, I like the transparency, at least the amount that we're getting right now. I like the transparency that we're getting from Small, but yeah, that'd be cool to get a further breakdown of how much the cost actually was and where it came from. Topher states, what are your opinions on people doing watch parties of the LVT tourney? Are more eyes on one spot better for you? Tool says, I don't think watch parties in Halo create any more viewership than what exists. If it does, it's not significant, unlike other esports. Okay, that's good to know too. Cost and sustainability. The total cost to produce cash grab number 1 was approximately $13,000. So maybe this will be able to answer some of your questions here, Tools. Maybe. That includes pricing, staffing, graphics, production infrastructure, and the administrative backbone required to execute the event properly. So we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty, apparently. That's the extent of what we're getting. You do not need to be in the Shark Tank to see that there's a clear economic gap between our production costs and the approximately $150 in revenue. No shit. Given that Straight Rippin' is fully self-funded, it is imperative that we work aggressively toward a model that can begin to sustain itself. This is a puzzle that I'm most excited to solve, and that journey is what this entire Straight Rippin' experiment is about. There are several obvious areas to improve as quickly as possible. creating better incentives to encourage subscriptions and social media engagement, running ads more strategically and more often, boo, relaunching the Straight Rippin' merchandise shop. That I like that idea. I hope there's good merch there, obviously. And then building a compelling offering for sponsor integrations. If you want to work with us, I want to hear from you at contact@straightrippin.com. While the economics of this first event are clearly not impressive, I consider the event a significant win overall based on how the community showed up for us. I'm prepared to keep funding Straight Rippin' to further test the feasibility and improve this model, and I will continue communicating the good, the bad, and the ugly along the way. With that in mind, I'm curious, and this is none of my business. I'm just like commenting out loud. Like I'm just putting this out there. Okay. That's all what I'm about to do is just putting it out there, putting my thought into the ether. When I read that statement, I'm prepared to keep funding Straight Rippin' to further test the feasibility and improve this model, and I'll continue communicating the good, the bad, and the ugly along the way. I love the idea of more communication. I mean, it's something that I've criticized the HCS for a long time, right? Big fan of more communication, big fan of transparency. My question, that again, it's frankly none of my business, but I'm just putting it out in the ether. My question that I immediately ask myself is, how much is he willing to put into this? And if he doesn't see genuine revenue gains from it, then how long will it be until we have another time of Straight Rippin' not existing? Right? And again, I don't want that to happen. Like I don't want that to be the case. It's just a thought that I'm just putting out there, because when I read that statement, that's immediately what pops into my head, because everything costs money at the end of the day, right? Everything costs money at the end of the day. And like he says, they're fully self-funded. So I'm just like, in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, how long are you willing, or how much are you willing to put into this? And if you're not seeing a good return on investment, until it becomes, well, we got to cut bait. That's what I'm curious about. Oh, Fulcrum, Verb is making a reference to T-Squared being in jail. But not like actual jail, if that makes sense. Ronan started from the bottom and still there. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, shout out Discount Drake. Tool says, the show match model is incredibly expensive and lacks the ability to create revenue in a way that's meaningful. I'll be curious how they try to approach that problem. I agree completely. Yo, APG, thank you so much, Brad. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the follow. Goddamn. Thank you, sir. I'm afraid you've lost me. I don't know lore. If anybody wants to fill Fulcrum in on the non-existent joking lore of T-Squared being in jail, go for it. That's all up to you. I will leave it at that. It's just like it's basically a meme at this point. I wouldn't even say basically. It is a meme at this point. But whatever. And then key takeaways. We learned that the community will show up when the content is worthwhile. We believe keeping original events on weekdays, such as Wednesdays, helps avoid competing with major weekend tournaments while allowing us to use weekends to support the broader Halo ecosystem through our own watch parties. We also understand the importance of increasing the frequency of our streams. Consistency will be critical if we want to grow the audience and sustain our momentum. I'm sorry, it's really fucking hard talking today. ABG says, I'm confused how with 500 to 700 viewers, they only generated $150 in revenue. For a few hours, that should be minimum $250 to $300. So, Brad, here's my question to you then, because you and Tools would know more about this than I would ever know. I don't run ads on this channel or anything like that. And I'm not running tournaments. But if they're running ads, because you need to do what you need to do, I completely understand. So I'm curious from like an ad revenue standpoint, if they're running ads, because Small said they're running ads every hour, basically for 5 minutes an hour, like 5 minutes per hour is what they're running ads for. So that's Like, I'm curious where if ad revenue is coming into play there, or what that ad revenue would be, right? And we don't need to talk about it again. It's none of my business, frankly speaking, but just one of the things I'm curious about. You get a certain split of ad revenue depending upon what program you're in and how frequently you run them. Okay, that makes sense. And I don't want to assume, it's because they're not part of the Partner Plus program. That's okay. That was what I was going to get at, because it feels like they're like coming back now. So considering they're coming back now and they're not that established, that would make me believe as to why they're not in that Partner Plus program. But then again, I don't know necessarily. Nathan Bacon, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Greatly appreciated. You got to run a certain amount per hour to get a certain cut. Thank you for the context there too. Drip, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Still convinced that watch parties hurt event organizers. It takes away from eyes on one spot and creates misleading information for sponsors. Again, tools, or if you want to comment on that, please. Because I don't know. Part of me, in terms of the watch party thing, me personally, I'll typically watch the main broadcast, right? So like with an HCS event, no offense, LVT, with like an HCS event, I'll typically watch the HCS streams. And then obviously with the LVT LAN, I'll watch that. And then any side things that they're putting on, like open bracket coverage, I'll watch LVT. But then at the same time, for those that like that particular streamer, right? For those that are locked into the optic content, for those that appreciate what Brad and Maniac do, right? Or those who appreciate what Scump and Methods do, they have that avenue to do so. And they may already be established in that community. So they want to go over there and hear their analysis and hear what they have to say about it. So I like both ways. I like that there's an opportunity that you always have the official broadcast if you ever just want to go watch that. And they have great talent there too. Or if you're part of an established community that's doing these watch parties, I love the idea that you're able to go and join your friends over there and hear their analysis and all that fun stuff. Thing is, they can't expect any revenue whatsoever if they're not partnered and not being able to run the required amount in terms of ads Brad is talking about. Since they're only running tourneys on the channel, there probably won't be a lot of subs coming in. And let me also say this. Lightning, thank you for the follow as well. Welcome to the live show. Small has said in a previous Small Talk on Twitter that the idea is not to just run tournaments on the channel, right? Their idea, their goal for the future, I don't know how quickly this future is going to take place, but their goal is to do watch parties, is to do more community run events, and then also do tournaments or do these show matches or whatever it may be. Actually build out that quote unquote portfolio. Brad says, I'll play devil's advocate here. Being an OG creator, there's been hella people that have tuned into the watch parties from COD because they're supporters of Optic. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the other thing too, like Brad, to you, for you specifically, and like for Scump specifically, those that are professional players or former professional players that have been in the scene for so long and have competed at the highest levels and won at the highest levels, the thing, and I, like Brad, I've said this, I'm not trying to glaze you too hard here. I've said this about you on previous episodes. The thing that I appreciate a lot about like what you guys do for your watch parties for the Halo events and what Scump and Methods do for their watch parties in the COD side of things is bringing your mindset for the game to the broader audience, right? Because you've lived it, you've seen it, you've done it all. So getting your analysis for how, like, breaking down plays, so on and so forth, I think is incredibly important. And it's awesome that you guys have that avenue to do so. So I genuinely appreciate that. It's one of the things that I look forward to the most is after a major event taking place, tuning into an APG stream and getting to hear your breakdown on how you think plays should have happened. And it's always a good time. So I want you to do more of that. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I want you to do more of that, please. Scum's watch parties of the Optic guys when they were playing always brought a ton of eyes to Halo that wouldn't be there otherwise. Yeah. And see, here's like, I won't lie. I was skeptical at first. I was genuinely skeptical at first, where when it was mentioned that, like, one of the first times it was mentioned that Scump was going to be doing like a watch party at one of the HCS events. And I won't lie, like, my first immediate gut reaction was, I don't know if I like that, because he's not established in the scene, right? But then I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? Why should I be upset about that when at the end of the day, it's bringing more eyes on the scene that we all love? And hell, maybe it gets his traditional COD viewers to look at the Halo side and be like, hey, this shit's pretty fucking awesome. And then we get more eyes on Halo as a result, more players on Halo as a result. I can't be mad at that. So yeah, my first gut reaction when Scump was doing like Halo watch parties was like, I don't know. I don't think I like that because he's not established in the scene. But then I thought about it. I'm like, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Because at the end of the day, right, Brad, it just gets more people to watch. That's all we really want. We want more people to be watching. So, the main tournament is the LVT tournaments now. So Lightning, it's a smorgasbord, right? It's a smorgasbord of events that are happening this year. It's not all central to one organization. So the one we're going to be mainly talking about today, yes, was the LVT LAN that took place. It was a fully LVT operated LAN that took place over the last weekend. We're going to be talking about that for the topic of the show. But for the remainder of the year, we have DreamHack Birmingham coming up. We're going to have DreamHack in Atlanta coming up later this year. We're going to have a Pro League of some way, shape, or form that'll culminate in a LAN as well. And then Shopify may or may not have an additional LAN on top of that. Because these conversations, like, I assume conversations are still happening, but like this was said by Nick Bestman a while ago, so things can change, right? But the idea, the goal, is to have an additional LAN put on by Shopify at some point throughout the year. And then we have the Halo Fest Invitational at the end of the year. So there are tons of different types of tournaments taking place from different organizations this year. Scum's viewers tuning in is huge. Same thing with the Drop Pod. Gave hella people not in the Halo community a chance to follow along. I agree with Ronan. I missed the Drop Pod as well. Brad says, Drop Pod, in my opinion, was one of the most underrated pieces of content. People were tuning in every week and were blessed enough to have things to speak about for the most part. But see, Brad, that was the best thing. Is the thing that I appreciated the most about the Drop Pod is that I want to hear more. I want to hear more about the individual. Like, we know everybody's Halo background, right? We know everybody's history for these pro players in the competitive scene. And if you don't know, it's very much easy to look up. Like, you can check it out on Wikipedia, or you can check it out on Halo, whatever. It's all out there, right? But the cool thing about the Drop Pod was that, yes, you guys would talk about Halo, obviously, it's duh, but you'd also just shoot the shit and talk about each other's lives and like have different topics to discuss. And it was, yeah, Drop Pod was cool. Drop Pod was good shit. Because obviously you can focus on Halo and whatnot, but I want to know more about those that are actually playing the game. I want to know more about the people. So I'll say this, Brad, I know Optic does not have a team during this quote unquote off season. And I know that, again, everything costs money, right? At the end of the day. But if there was any opportunity to just do something like the Drop Pod, right? But just have other pros from the scene join or retired players join. And maybe I am not the person who is good at these types of things, like in terms of like setup and all that stuff, because I assume it'd be better viewership wise if it was all in person. But even if like, in my opinion, I would watch it even if it was still like a remote thing where everybody was on their cams or whatever. I think it's cool just to have those discussions, and I'd love to hear other players' perspectives on things, even if Optic doesn't have a team. So I think that'd be cool if the drop pod could come back in some way, shape, or form to do that. But that's just my opinion. Learning about players' personalities, quirks, interests, etc. definitely creates a deeper relatability that goes outside of the game. Absolutely. I have an idea for a post-game show, carbon copy of the flank, but don't know if now's the time for it. Now, Brad, I would say, shit, I'm one guy, right? Like, I would say that this might be the perfect opportunity to try it. I think now would be like the perfect opportunity to start spitballing and try things out, like during this quote unquote off season year. Right. And that way you can work out all the kinks. And then when the next game comes out, whenever that is, and we have the competitive structure laid out and we have the roadmap laid out, then you can just hit the ground running and be like, boom, ready to go. Again, it's just my opinion. I think now would be a perfect opportunity to start like testing things out. I got to finish this article. Moving back to key takeaways here. I'm sorry, we got off topic here. This is again from Small regarding the straight rip and cash grab. Key takeaways. We want to find a way to better include other regions like Europe and Latin America. Time zone and ping challenges are real, but we will explore ways to incorporate the fans, players, and talent from around the world the best we can. We need to extract more value from the content we produce. Producing a show is one challenge. Maximizing its reach across short form, long form, and multiple platforms is another. Our social media strategy and content distribution needs to improve. Viewer interactivity also needs to be stronger. Alerts, chat polls, and more interactive elements are already in development. And we also need to do a better job working with the various communities across the Halo ecosystem. Subreddits, Discord communities, the Forge community, other streamers, and creators all matter. This works best when everyone is willing and incentivized to support each other, and we are open to any ideas that you have. So, to put a bow on the straight ripping transparency, one of the things that Small had said a while ago, like over a month ago, I think, when he started doing these updates on Twitter, was that, like, I'm paraphrasing here, but like he wants to use these as like experimentation and to not have to have all ducks in a row before launching something, right? So obviously there's going to be a lot of hurdles to go through before having a successful landing. It's just, I respect that to a degree, because you don't want to have to go through all these logistics for everything before launching something to understand it's not going to work. You want to be able to test and iterate and all that stuff. I respect that. But at the same time, again, all of these things cost money. And I'm curious, because we all know that, just to be blunt about it, we all know that the viewership is not necessarily as much as it used to be during a typical HCS year, right? People are still passionate about it. Hell, like fucking we're here, obviously. We're still passionate about it. But the engagement isn't at the levels as it would be during a traditional HCS season. So with that in mind, I love the idea of using these opportunities to test things out, to continue to iterate, be quick with it. But at the same time, I'm curious, like, how much runway are you giving this? Because at the end of the day, all these endeavors, all these tests, all these iterations, all this new stuff that you're planning, all this costs money. So I don't know. I'm curious how much runway you have. How much are you willing to invest into this? And if you, when does it come a time, if you're not seeing the return on investment, what's going to happen then? Like, we've seen Luminosity come and go outside of their organizational bullshit, we've seen Luminosity as an organization come and go within Halo for many, many a year. And when Straight Rippin' came back during the Halo 5, like during the Halo 5 years, it was fucking awesome. And the hype was there, and they had a skin in the game. They had a literal fucking weapon skin in the game. And then they went away for a while. And then they come back during Infinite. It's like, oh my God. They're doing the thing. And then they didn't do the thing. They did not do the thing. Swag Proof, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Greatly appreciated. So I just don't know. I'm wishing Small the best. I truly am. Like as much as I was digging at the fucking name of Cash Grab, which I think is awful. I want to see these things succeed. Like I genuinely do. Because at the end of the day, like we were talking about earlier, it's more eyes on the game. It's more eyes on the scene. And it allows these players to have an opportunity to make some money and put on a show for the viewers at home. And I love that. I love that idea. So I do hope it succeeds, but I'm just curious about the financials and the logistics of it all. So yeah, that's it for the competitive news. Which means it's time for Rostermania! Brad states here, people can clip and post to YouTube. I never had a problem with that. It's just uploading my entire stream was the issue. People did that, Brad? What? It's just uploading my entire stream was my issue. Clipping culture has positives and negatives, but in the end, drives traffic to your main channel. The main TO is going to usually be making the most bread opposed to maybe 3 to 4 creators. This is in response to Topher. I see where you're coming from, but in the end, it's all getting eyes on the game and hopefully some new and reoccurring viewers. Brad, were people legitimately just ripping your stream and posting that shit in full? That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Oh my God. That's fucking crazy. Just a couple here that were announced before the LVT LAN was taking place. Kraken Seas is Piggy, Envor, Yaxon, and Breaking Shot. And then Luminon Gaming is going to be Trippy, Descendant, Precision, and Talik. And we're going to talk about both of their placings in just a moment. And, yeah, we're just waiting on the fucking phase announcement at this point. Just waiting on that phase announcement. Any fucking day now, Kason. Any fucking day now. It'd be great. That's why I tweaked a little, because it was during Rostermania and it would be legit right as I ended my stream, so I wouldn't be able to upload myself. That's fucking stupid. Oh my God, dude, I'm sorry. That is really fucking dumb. That's really fucking dumb. K might be coming back on phase. Don't know if it's true or not. Yeah, he was here late last night as well. Yeah, he popped in late last night and was doing his typical K shit, you know. He was poking that bear. So like I said, I'm just waiting for that. I'm just waiting for the official announcement whenever that comes. And Brad, I would love to have you on at some point, but I would like to have questions prepared, if that is okay. Like do an actual type of interview type show where we can learn more about you, not only as the player, but like I said, as the person as well. So if you would be willing, I would love to have you on at some point. And that invite is always available. Just let you know, fuck yeah, dude. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. And I know you didn't have to be here, but thank you for taking time out of your day to be here too, so thank you. What was it like being on Workaholics? Hobgoblin, are you because that's fucking hilarious, because that is not the first time that I have been asked, that I have been told that I look like somebody who was on Workaholics. That is not the first time that it's been a long time since that reference has been made. But holy shit, that is so fucking funny. That is so fucking funny. See, if I grow my hair out, people say that I look like I could be like Walshy's brother, which I never saw, but people think that that is a thing. I think it's funny. But that is not the first time I've heard the Workaholics reference either. That's hilarious. Oh, Ronan says someone would love to immediately upload that interview to YouTube right after. Whoever does that can go fuck themselves. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, John, it'll be awesome. When I eventually have Brad on, as long as we can coordinate times and I have good questions to ask, then yes. I'm looking forward to it. Brad's great. What happened to the SSG roster? SSG is not fielding a roster right now. They potentially plan on fielding a roster later this year. Yo, Bobetta Feta, holy shit. Welcome back, buddy. Good to see you, man. Fuck. It's been a long time. Yeah, it's been. What's up, Syrian? Welcome back as well. But yeah, Lightning. SSG are not fielding a roster currently, but they may field one later on this year. So whether that be, I think there was a statement from somebody over there. It may have been Unit. It may have been someone else talking about how, like, I'm paraphrasing here, so don't quote me on this, but I think it's either after Birmingham or like genuinely later on in the year. Where's Eco and Stellar? It's right now Eco, Stellar, Bound, and Syrian. Right now. But again, they're not going to be under the SSG banner. So yeah, if we're basing it off of teams that competed in the last Open Series, so the last DreamHack Birmingham Open Series, the team at that time was Eco, Stellar, Bound, and Syrian. And again, they're not playing under they're not going to be playing under SSG as of right now. So but yeah, that's fucking, unless Syrian says something otherwise at this point in time, that's it for Rostermania. We're just waiting for official announcements. And then also the other thing to keep in mind is that this week, I mean, actually, I think this is a perfect segue into the upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcombat.com. Check out noobcombat.com for all your Halo esports needs. On Tuesday, February 24th, we have the HRL FFA Series 16 week number 2. On Saturday, February 28th, is the AAG Halo Infinite FFA Invitational and the Snipentine 2v2 brought to you by SWAT Nation. And on Saturday the 28th and Sunday, March 1st, is the DreamHack Birmingham Open Qualifier. So the reason why I mentioned that is, with the qualifier being this weekend, we will see the teams competing, right? We will see the teams that are signed up for the qualifier. In which case, if those teams earn travel coverage, those are more than likely going to be the teams that go. So again, just waiting on official announcements at this point in time. Just waiting. And that's it for your upcoming tournaments of the week, presented by noobcombat.com. Check out noobcombat.com for all your Halo esports needs. Scrim Tournament League recaps for the week. You can check out all of the scrims, the scrim results, which don't matter, over at halodatahive.com. Check it out. Teams with orgs will still be going, thankfully. C9 is still yet to sign a roster. Brad, I'm half joking when I say this, but I'm also being fucking dead serious here too. With the amount of money that they're not paying the COD team, does that just mean that whomever signs to Cloud9, like, literally is just going to get travel coverage and that's about it. And like, hey, you get a jersey for free. Hell yeah, brother. Like, is that all we're talking about? They're just offering peripheral. There it is. I fucking call that shit. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. Fuck. Don't get me wrong. Travel can be expensive. Like, especially today, in today's day and age, travel can be expensive. So that's nice. But fuck, man. I would hope no prize cut from earnings either, because that'd just be greedy. APG, come on, Brad. We're talking about. Come on. You know the organization you're talking about right now. Just thank God Luminosity's not back. You know what I mean? Guys, remember G1? All right, let's continue. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Play Griffball Winter Minor Series playoffs results. Week 1 was Slurpin' Hammer, Turkish Hammer, Circuit Jammer, Circus Hammer going up against New Age Outlaws. And Circus Hammer won 2-0. And then the Hash Slinging Slashers beat the Backstreet Senpais 2-0 as well. In week 2 of the playoffs. Operations Doomsday defeated Slurpin' Hammer, Turkish Hammer, Circuit Jammer, Circus Hammer 2-1. And Grave Waves eliminated the Hash Slinging Slashers 2-0 as well, which means the championship match, which will be scheduled soon, is Operation Doomsday going up against Grave Waves for the minor season title. Link to the stats and the VODs are included in the Google Doc in the show notes of the show. ! Show notes in the chat. Luminosity was paying their players $250 a month, better off giving plasma. Holy shit. Oof. Holy fuck. Oh my God. It's just acting like they're getting fucking per diems. That's crazy. That is crazy. Oh. Those some crazy names. Yeah, Ian. Yeah. The fucking AGLA, the American Griffball League of America, does not fuck around when it comes to team names. They're always on the ball. No pun intended. C9 can't afford trippy snack budget. That's funny too. I like that. I'd be happy as hell if they at least get travel coverage because no one wants to pay for an international flight. Agreed. But then again, like, we also need to keep into consideration here that we understand that there's not a lot of organizational support this year, but we also know that with the, let me make sure people understand this because I said this last night. I'm going to say it again here. This qualifier for DreamHack, like the 2 previous opens for DreamHack Birmingham, it's global. Like, they're not separate qualifiers per region. This is a singular qualifier, all the regions included, right? And the top 4, if I'm not mistaken, the top 4 teams from this qualifier earn travel coverage. So I have a feeling I know who at least 3 out of those 4 teams are going to be, potentially all 4 of them, but there's opportunities out there. Still not 100% sure if DreamHack is covering hotel in their travel coverage. My guess is they're not, and the flight stipend is $1,000 a person. That would suck a lot. That would suck a lot. Moving on. The Swipe and Time double date results. In third place went to Kontum, Danchi, Tsif, and Armor Saint. In second place went to Fear is Sick, Gunmetal, Nap Times, and Fob. And first place went to I'm Derek, Fondling Lemons. Oh, boy. Hero DNA and Leor. And then finally, the European Halo League Infinite Doubles results. In third place went to Twizzy, which was Simons and Tux. In second place went to Size Matters, which was Chaos and Sticka. And first place went to Stallions, which was Zove and Mose. Again, brackets and VODs all included in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show. In the FAQ, it doesn't mention hotel and says they're giving a stipend and teams have to book themselves. Oh, my fuck. Yeah, this could be... Oh, nah. How do orgs even make money sending a team over? Brad says merch and content. My question is, what fucking content are they making? Because so many don't. You know what I mean? So many, it's just like it's a tweet every now and again. And that's the content. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I will say, the biggest thing for me, now, we're talking about a DreamHack event now, so things are going to be a little different. But one of the things I've said for all the HCS events over the last 4 years and before is that I personally am a huge fan. If the organization, Will, Jesus fucking Christ. Will, thanks for the follow on the fucking Jesus. Oh my God. Welcome to the live show. The thing I want to add here is, as so long as organizations can have a booth at an event, it's okay, Will. How fucking dare you? As long as organizations are able to have a booth at an event, like, I think, okay, again, from a logistics standpoint, I understand how it could not be a great investment to have a booth at an event, whatever. But I'm a true proponent of, if you give folks an opportunity to buy your merch, like, I truly believe that more often than not, they're going to buy your fucking merch. Like, having a booth there, I mean, shit. There are times, I'm guaranteeing you right now, that if Cloud9 didn't have booths at HCS events, if some other organizations never had booths at HCS events, I would have never bought their merch. But the fact that they were there, if it's there and it's easily accessible, I'm going to fucking buy that merch. I'm going to buy that shit. I agree they'd have to break even, though, to make it even. Booth is $4 to $6K. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Don't get me wrong. It makes sense completely. Like, I get it from a logistical standpoint that it could not be worth it to have a booth there. It's just, I don't know, especially if you're a partnered organization. That was the thing that really killed me, is that if you're a partnered organization and you don't have a booth there, that's fucking insane. And actually, you know what, Brad? Let me ask you this, because you have been a member of Optic for a while. Now, granted, you were not a member of Optic for all the years, but I want to ask you, why the fuck didn't one of the biggest esports organizations, especially North America, have a fucking booth at the majority of HCS events? What the fuck was that? And then also, why the fuck were Optic Gaming charging for stickers? Why were they charging for stickers? Who charges for stickers? Probably wasn't worth the them when HCS was going to end. I mean, sure, but come the fuck on, man. Oh, John, don't you dare act like, oh, fucking Josh, don't talk about the stickers, man. You motherfucker, you want stickers too? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm still upset about that. I'm still fucking upset about that, clearly. God. Unbelievable. Brad, just as a heads up, Brad, I'm just giving shit. Like, I'm not being serious. I'm serious about the stickers not being free shit. That's crazy to me. And I wish that they had booths at the events, but I'm not trying to take it out on you. I know you don't have control over it. They had a booth at the events when I was on the roster, but if you want me to be all the way real, they were investing heavy in our team because we were the favorites whilst also winning. Again, it makes sense. It does make sense. But that's the thing is, like, I understand investing in the team, but I'm just thinking, like, overall, Optic as an organization. Like, Optic as an organization. You're one of the largest esports organizations in North America. And I think it's crazy. But Josh should have saved the sticker question for the interview. No, fuck that. I could ask way better ones than that for a fucking interview. Especially for things he has actual, like, he has say so on. God damn it, Ronan, shut up. Ian, you better love stickers. All right. That's it for your upcoming turns of the week presented by noobcombo.com. Check out noobcombo.com for all your... Wait, what the fuck am I talking about? That's it for the Scrim Tournament League recaps that were not brought to you by Noob Combo, but maybe they should be. I don't fucking know. It's time for the topic. I'm all over the place today. This is the LVT LAN Post-Show. The LVT LAN Post-Show. The LVT LAN took place over the last weekend, and it was amazing. Even if there were no spectators. Colby Wan Kenobi, great name, by the way. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. I understand there were no spectators at this event. But even then, just like, all you had to do, legitimately, all you had to do was just tune into the broadcast for 5 minutes. Even if that. So long as there wasn't a technical difficulty. But all you had to do was tune in during one of the games that was being played, and you just got to see the passion on display. You would hear the players yelling in the background. The casters would be popping off as well. There would be great discussion amongst everybody that was there, and it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. So, to kick things off, just as a reminder, there was supposed to be a Halo 3 4v4 tournament during this weekend as well. But because they didn't have enough turnout for it, they had to cancel that portion of the event. It was going to be on original 360s as well. But so it is sad that did not happen. I really did want to see that because I'd be very curious as to how Halo 3 would be received today playing on original hardware. So I'd be very curious about that. Maybe we'll see something in the future regarding that. But regardless, they didn't have enough turnout for it, so that event got canceled. But we still had some side tournaments that took place on the Friday of the event. We had a Halo 5 2v2 take place and a Halo Infinite 2v2 as well. The Halo 5 2v2, by the way, was played on PC. It was played on PC using the Halo 5 Forge edition on PC. In second place for the Halo 5 2v2 was Fate, ZD, and Gumi? Am I dumb? Did I misspell? Nope, that's how it's spelled on the fucking bracket. And then in first place went to Frosty and Cycle. And then in the Halo Infinite 2v2, this was ever so slightly shocking. Not like, oh my fucking God, but like, that's pretty fucking cool. Because in second place was Frosty and Penguin, and in first place went to Last Shot and Cycle, and they had a perfect tournament. Last Shot and Cycle didn't drop a map in that Halo Infinite 2v2. So that's pretty fucking awesome. Congratulations to them. Moving on. Another thing that separated the LVT LAN from like traditional HCS events over the last 4 years is that this had a Swiss bracket that led to the seeding of the championship bracket. Okay, so all these teams had the opportunity to play each other to determine seeding for the actual bracket of the event, instead of like a traditional pool play from what we've seen in years prior. So I have a few series here that I wanted to call out from the Swiss bracket. From Swiss round 2, Kraken Seas went up against Shopify Rebellion and caused the first upset of the tournament. The first upset of the tournament. Kraken Seas beat Shopify Rebellion 3-1. And the game I want to call out specifically was a Strongholds on Livefire, which was game 4. And again, I've said this during the last 2 after party streams, but I want to state it again here for the normal show. The thing that I love the most about the changes that they made to Infinite Game Mode specifically for the HCS, Oddball and Strongholds, King of the Hill, right, is that in Strongholds, the game doesn't end until a team reaches 250. Okay? So the game continues. Game continues until a team reaches 250, which means at any given moment, team gets a better spawn, team gets a bigger opportunity, whatever it may be, shuts a player down, makes a big play, they can turn the tide of the game at any moment. And that's exactly what we saw in that game 4 Strongholds on Livefire, where Kraken Seas were down a lot. Like the score was like in the 220s for Shopify against the teens of Kraken Seas. And Kraken Seas did kind of what the unthinkable was, where they made that comeback happen and they won that game. Butrixie, welcome back. Good to see you. So that's one of the things I truly fucking love about the competitive format of Halo Infinite specifically, is that it could have been, I feel like this isn't talked about as enough, where they could have just taken the game types as they were in Halo 5 and then lift and shift them over to Infinite and called it a day. But they didn't do that. Instead, they kind of took it back to the drawing board and they're like, what can we do to make these work more in the context of this game specifically? And I think they did an unbelievable job with it. And I understand that there are folks out there who are more the purist type who, especially like on the King of the Hill side, they wanted King of the Hill to be like it was in prior games, or an oddball where some don't like the round structure that it has now. But I love the changes that they made. I thought it was all for the better. I think it makes for a much more competitive game being played. Because previously, like in an oddball game, right? In old titles, in an oddball game, it could come to a point in time where a team is just mathematically out of it. Like they just don't, there's literally no possible way for the team to come back. They're too far gone and score. And then instead of being able to just end the game, they just have to sit there and have the team hold the ball until the game ends. And it just completely, I don't know, it just doesn't feel good to watch happen. King of the Hill, same way. King of the Hill, same way. Back in the day, it could come to a point where it's just mathematically impossible to make a comeback. It's just mathematically impossible for a team to win. Now, both teams always have that opportunity to make something happen. So I think what 343 at the time, now Halo Studios, did was great. I think the changes that they made to the competitive format in Infinite were awesome. Now, granted, they had an absolute devastating decision that they made with fucking Extraction. And don't get me wrong, like, we held them to task on that. Extraction was fucking awful. And hell, Assault has its own issues as well. But the changes that they made to Strongholds, the changes that they made to King of the Hill, and the changes that they made to Oddball, I think are all for the better. I think are all for the better. And we got to literally see one with that Strongholds comeback by Kraken Seas against the fucking world champions in Shopify. It was just awesome. It was just fucking awesome. Then Inconceivable went up against Luminon. Inconceivable with another kind of upset here. But it ended in a Game 5 Slayer on Solitude. And it was a 50-49 heater. And I love me a 50-49 Slayer. Big fan. Big fan. I will say, though, because we did rewatch this game over the other night, the thing that got me was that we didn't have the real, like, slowdown moment that would happen when both teams are kind of on the brink. We didn't really have that. But still, it's a 50-49 at the end of the day. Love a 50-49 Slayer. Big fan. Big fan. Whoa, what, Tools? Whoa, what? Can we see the... Fuck you. Oh, my God. Wow. All in favor of banning Tools, say aye. Get some ones in the chat. Also, Frag Out, I didn't say hi to you. I'm sorry. Welcome back, dude. Oh, my God. It's good to see you. Good to see you, sir. Great work as always. I know you don't need to hear it, but great work as always. Down to ban Tools? Hey, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's get it. Let's fucking get it. I love you, Frag Out. Then, a few other series here in the Swiss format I want to call out. Round 3, Kraken Seas swept Inconceivable 3-0. And then Shopify Rebellion beat Luminon Gaming 3-1. And then round 4, Shopify beat Inconceivable 3-2, and Shopify had to complete the reverse sweep to do so. Shame we can't get LAN individual POVs. Absolute shame. Yeah, fucking throw shade at Tools for that. Have a great night, Will. What the fuck? Tools, what are you talking about? I am so confused right now. What the fuck? Something to note here. Is that Kraken Seas, I know it was Swiss. Oh yeah, no, that's the thing, Brad. We have to blame Tools. We have to. Kraken Seas went 4-0 in Swiss, and they were 12-1 in map count. They were 12-1 in map count. That's fucking crazy. They fucking came out the gate swinging. That's awesome. Congrats to them. Moving on to the championship bracket. In winners semifinals, we had the top 4 teams playing against each other. This was expected. Oh my God. Siri, you guys need to relax. Guys, nobody's getting banned unless someone does something really stupid. All right? Relax. Okay, Dav, you're getting close. Dav's getting close. Dav's like, everybody else should be banned. This motherfucker's like, nah, maybe it's me. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Anvor played out of his mind, man. Anvor played out of his fucking mind. So, in the winners semifinals, it was the top 4 teams that were playing against each other again. This was kind of as expected here. But Inconceivable actually sent Kraken Seas down to the losers bracket 3-1. So Kraken Seas coming off of their hot Swiss performance going into day 2. They are going to be starting off in losers bracket. Luminon Gaming also with an additional upset here, sending Shopify Rebellion to losers bracket by way of a 3-2 series. So this one also went to a game 5. Shopify getting sent down to losers. Not really expected out of the World Championship roster. Ghost, thank you for the bits. Appreciate it. Winners final was Luminon up against Inconceivable. Luminon Gaming continuing their tear here, going 3-1 against Inconceivable. Luminon are going to be the first team in the grand finals. They're coming from the winner's side. They're going to have a best of 5 advantage in this grand final. Because thing to note is that the grand final was not best of 7. This was best of 5. Going back down to losers bracket, losers semifinal, Shopify now going from losers, they're going to have to play through the remainder of the top 4 teams to get back to hopefully get to the grand final and play against Luminon once again. And they do just that. In the losers semifinal, they sweep Kraken Seas 3-0, sending Kraken Seas home with a top 4 finish. And then the losers final, they eliminate Inconceivable in a 3-1 fashion, a gentleman's sweep. It was a gentleman's sweep because they lost game 1, and holy fucking shit, the end of that game 1. The end of that game 1, which was Oddball on live fire. I think what we should do, and again, because I'm an idiot and I don't fucking have this prepared because I'm dumb as shit, I think we should watch that real quick. What do you guys think? Should we watch that real quick? Just the quick end of the game. I think it's a good idea. Let's fucking do it. And again, tools, the best part is that I don't, it's not a clip. I literally have the time-stamped VOD in the show notes. I have the fucking time-stamped VOD. Because I scrubbed through that shit. All right? I'm scrubbing through that shit. I find it. And ladies and gentlemen, I have it right here. So let's make sure that this goes to the right screen. It should. But let's make sure this goes to the right screen here. Is it this one? Hey, look at that. See? Fucking nailed it. Might be the biggest slay imbalance of a 3-1 I've ever seen. Dude. Just, so ladies and gentlemen, let's set the stage here. Let's set the stage. This is game 1. Okay? This is game 1. Shopify against Inconceivable. It's going to be a best of 5. Loser goes home in this series. Okay? The loser of the series goes home. Oddball on live fire. 1 round apiece. Time is ticking down on the clock. And again, for those who may not know about Oddball and Halo Infinite, again, a great change that I love is that when I said that both teams always have an opportunity to win or have an opportunity to do something, have an opportunity to fight back, is how Oddball's structured in Infinite. So not only is it round-based, where there are, like, the first team to 2 round wins the game. Each round goes to 100 points. But additionally, the game clock stops so long as the ball is being held by either team, right? And so there's a lot of great strategy that can be played around that. And what we're about to see here is one of those strategies, right? where when the time is ticking down, the intention is that you want to have at least 1 second above the other team when the timer runs out, because then you win that round, potentially win the game. So we're about to see here 83-80. Shopify have a slight lead here. There's 17 seconds left on the clock. Nobody is holding on to the ball yet. And let's just see what happens.
Face of Boo Boo Doo, however, a good job from Boo Boo to cut off that angle, but 13 seconds told you're still down 3, and Shopify can play time here.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be inconceivable. That's forced to get to the ball. Falcon does get there. The help is there. They haven't taken the lead yet. That ball's on the ground. Finally, it's tied.
Oh, no.
Okay. So in that clusterfuck of stuff that was happening, Inconceivable were able to grab the ball for a short period of time as the time was ticking down. They grabbed the ball. The game is tied 83-83. There's 3 seconds left on the game clock. But again, time stops when a team is holding onto the ball. Last shot scoops this ball up. He's going to get 1 additional second of game time. He's going to drop the ball, and they're thinking, all right, this game's done. We can move on to game 2, and that's that. But what they don't realize is that Boo Boo Doo Boo decides that, nah, fuck that shit. And he's just going to swoop the fuck in, grab the ball without anybody on Shopify understanding what the fuck is going on, gets the additional second they need, and Inconceivable wins in the weirdest way possible.
The last shot gets the 2, gets the 49, 1 off the 50 bomb, but he'll take the game. Wait.
Oh,
Boo Boo, how do you lose that?
Boo Boo Doo Boo, I don't know if you guys can hear it at home, but he said some explicit words, and then how do you lose
There's
that?
Penguin's dad. There's
no
Penguin's dad just chilling.
Gets into anyone's hands. Taking a look at the replay, there's got to be someone that's...
They're expecting the player.
Where's this 4th player?
Did Boo Boo come in from garage?
Where are you, Boo Boo Doo Boo?
Is he coming through big door?
I think he came from garage.
Where are you?
He is. You can see him there.
Big door right here.
Big door.
Didn't spot it in real time, but this flank from Boo Boo, you gotta think. Last shot throwing the ball.
So look, what?
Forward is the only reason it happens.
Boo Boo comes in. He doesn't shoot these players. He's between
Royal 2 right there,
fucking crazy, dude.
2 seconds. Where's Royal 2? Is he getting double beat down? He got the double beat down. Boo Boo Doo Boo. The benefit of having the skull in your hand.
That is so crazy. That is so fucking crazy the way that happened. Do you like my Scooby-Doo cover? Sure, tools, whatever. I'm just kidding. I just like, what the fuck? The fact that Shopify, they had camo as well, and they're all looking towards window. Like, they're all looking towards scoreboard side, right? And Boo Boo is just like, nah, man, watch this. And he swoops in from garage, doesn't shoot at any of them because he knows they're all looking the other way. And he's like, why the fuck would I put myself in this disadvantageous position? I'm just going to swoop in, grab this right quick, hold on to it for a fucking second, and then he dies, but it doesn't matter. They got the extra point. That was so awesome. Oh my God. But see, it's things like that. It's moments like that because of how Infinite is structured, because of how Oddball is structured in Infinite, moments like that can happen. It's just, oh my God. It's so fucking cool, man. It's so fucking cool. God, I love that shit. Absolutely love it. Oh. But Shopify bounced back after that. They win the next 3 games in the series. Again, it was a gentleman's sweep. And Inconceivable are sent home with a 3rd place finish. Then we get to the grand finals. And I am on record on saying many a time that I believe, and I said this during the, like, if we ever did a preseason predictions, we didn't for this year because it's like the off season, but regardless, if I were to do a preseason predictions here for the 2026 season, is that I would have predicted that Shopify are going to win every event this year. And I don't think that's crazy to state. And while Shopify definitely had their work cut out for them this event, because this is the first time that all of these players are playing in a LAN environment since October of last year, they did what they needed to do. So again, Luminon had a best of 5 buffer here in the grand finals because they came from the winner's side. Shopify beat Luminon in the first best of 5, 3-1, and then did the same exact thing. Shopify wins 3-1 against Luminon in the second best of 5, the grand finals reset. And one of my favorite things that had happened was the fact that game 4 in that second best of 5 was a CTF pit. And I'm so happy it's back. I'm so happy it's back. It feels like home. And I've said it many a time. I am a big fan of new dev-made experiences. I don't need remakes all the time, right? But I do love the pit. I will be a hypocrite right now because I really do love the pit. I like it a lot. So, am I the only one that read the team name as inconceivable every time? No, I said it in my mind every time I read the name out, like to myself. So, yes, you're not the only one. With that, your results for the LVT LAN are: in fourth place went to Kraken Seas, which is Piggy, Envor, Yaxon, and Breaking Shot. In third place went to Inconceivable, which is Penguin, Suppressed, Boo Boo Doo and Falcated. In second went to Luminon Gaming, which is Trippy, Descendant, Precision, and Tolic. And in first place went to Shopify Rebellion, which is Cycle, Royal 2, Frosty, and It's the Last Shot. A couple storylines here for you that I plucked out of this event. Again, Kraken Seas. They went 4-0 in Swiss, and they were 12-1 in map count leading into the championship bracket. Unfortunately, they didn't do a whole lot when they got to champ bracket, but regardless, really great showing out of them in the Swiss rounds. And I'm looking forward to what they're potentially able to do, not only in the qualifier, but hopefully a DreamHack as well. Hopefully a DreamHack as well. What's up, Chuck? Welcome back. Kraken Season Inconceivable showing great promise with their new respective rosters. We really didn't know what to necessarily expect here coming into this offseason, right? Is that it really just, it depends. I believe it really depends on what teams are going to be putting in the work. And another thing we talked about over the last couple nights is one of the great things about this off year specifically is that we get to see some rosters form that you may not have thought would happen in the first place. And we get to see these players come together in ways that we haven't necessarily seen them before. And you get to see skill sets shine in ways we haven't seen previously. And while I still believe that Shopify are going to win every event that they're a part of this year, again, I still don't think that's a crazy statement. I think it's amazing what we were able to see Kraken Seas, Inconceivable, Luminon, what we were able to see them do over the weekend with everybody back on LAN, everybody putting that work back in, getting those reps in. It just makes me more excited for what is going to happen at DreamHack and beyond. Penguin's dad being the coach for Inconceivable is fucking awesome. That is just genuinely fucking cool. So, shout out to Penguin's dad. That's just, you want to talk about support. You want to talk about support. That man was there supporting his son. Just really, really fucking cool. Love to see it. Love to see it. And the fact that they took third at the event as well. So awesome. So fucking awesome. Luminon setting themselves up early for early success to eventually being taken down at the end. the couple things here I want to call out from the Luminon side were the constant pressure being applied to their opponents, especially Shopify, right? Where it really did feel like, we talked about it last night, it really felt like they didn't want to allow the enemy to get a breath of air. Like they were continually applying that pressure over and over and over again. But it felt more, how do I explain this? It felt more, this might be me talking out of my ass a little bit, so hear me out. The old native red, the old like KCP native red TSM rosters, right? It felt like a lot of that was speed for the sake of speed. Where with this new LG roster, it really felt like the speed was deliberate. And it was suffocating for the other team. And it felt, I don't know. I really don't know how else to explain it. So I'm sorry if I'm doing a very poor job of it. But just having the types of players on that team, having the guns on that team, it was working. It was working up until the moment it didn't. But it was working for quite a long fucking time. And then also, I got to give flowers. If Dav is still here, he's going to be happy about this. I gotta hand it to Descendant here. I put it in the show notes as Descendant ascending to new heights in the LAN debut with his new team. He played incredibly well. And I was asked last night if there was a player that stood out to me or whatnot, and he is the one. He's the one that really truly stood out to me. And again, it's why I talk about how the environment matters. The environment matters, your teammates matter. And that's not to say he wasn't doing great things on the Envy roster, because he was. They fucking took third place at Worlds. Like, hello. And the thing that I think gets lost in translation, they had to make it from losers round 1 at Worlds to take third place at the event. Sure, it didn't feel like they were at the same level as Optic or Shopify, but they got there. Like, they earned that spot. They fought tooth and nail to get to that spot. And I think that team was great, and I wanted to see that team here. Like, I wanted to see them stick together, and I was hoping that Envy was going to stay. Obviously, they didn't. But yeah, team changes can be hard. They can be tough. But at the same time, you have these opportunities where, again, players coming together that you may not have seen coming. And so I at least at this first LAN event, we got to see Descendant, again, like, no pun intended, but ascend to a higher level. We got to see it firsthand. We got to witness it with our eyes. And the things that truly stick out to me were the ways in which he was staying alive on the map and the ways that he was allowing his teammates to come back. Because again, the moment that I called out last night, the moment I want to call out again here, was on that pit game where he had Sniper and he was sitting where Overshield spawns. And he was last alive on his team. He was last alive on his team. And this was a do or die situation, right? If Descendant goes down here, that gives a bigger opportunity for Shopify to push in on LG's side of the map, continually to spawn kill, get a flagpole, and they're off to the races. But because Descendant was able to stay alive the way that he did with that Sniper down there and hitting the shots that he needed to hit, allowed his teammates to respawn, allowed it so Shopify couldn't put as much pressure as they wanted to, and kept his team in the game. At the end, they still lost, but they wouldn't have had the opportunity to fight back if Descendant died there. And that was just one instance. That was one very specific instance. There have been multiple throughout the weekend that he was directly and indirectly a part of. So again, I thought so many players did a phenomenal job this last weekend. I truly mean that. I think Descendant really showed a different level to his play. And I really hope that he keeps with it. I truly fucking do. I want, we say it all the time, right? Especially in a year like this, where this is the opportunity to truly establish yourself. During these off years, these are the times where you truly take that time to establish yourself and allow yourself more opportunities out there. Because the better that he and others continue to play, the more opportunities potentially are going to be out there when the new title releases. So it was great. He played great. And I'm very much looking forward to what that squad can continue to do. And I'm looking forward to what they're able to continue to do. The qualifier is literally this coming weekend. The qualifier is literally this weekend. The passion he brought was needed. Not only that, but not only was that passion needed, but Cycle dished that passion right back out as soon as they won, because holy moly. Oh, Dav, I'll always give a player their flowers when I think they've earned it. Absolutely. Again, I made the joke, but like, I'm serious. To go from that origin play on Rockets to this, just a complete 180. Just a complete 180. It really felt like, I've got it. I fucking got it. The way that LG were playing over the weekend was controlled chaos. That's the best way that I could put it. They were playing controlled chaos. It felt like all the players on that team were able to play the way that they wanted to, with the speed and the ferocity around the map. Again, not allowing teams the ability to breathe, just continually applying the pressure. But it was also controlled in the sense that it never felt like it was out of their hands. You know what I mean? Chuck says, like a Splice Era H5 team. That's really what that felt like. Yes, they were flying, but they were flying methodically. As dumb as that sounds. They were working together. They consistently had teams off spawns. And it just, they played great. They played great. Grog, welcome back, says, I think Descendant was really the one doing most of the chirping in general, so it was just reciprocal fun. I mean, that's what I was getting at. But again, that's the beautiful part. That's the beautiful part about this event specifically. And it's why I titled the episode The Return of the Passion. Because that's really what this was. The fact that these teams were sitting across from one another the entire weekend, right? And you would hear all the time over the broadcast just pop-off moment after pop-off moment, like screaming dead. Just, it was all the time. It was all the time. And I know that Cycle was the most public of them because it was the final pop-off moment of the final game of the final series of the event. But it was happening all weekend. It was happening all weekend long. And it was just, it was awesome to watch. It really felt like the players were, this is gonna sound dumb as shit, but it really just sounded like the players were having fun. And I know like during like major HCS events during normal years, right? Like they obviously when they were streaming and whatnot, they said, yeah, I like playing the game and all that stuff. But like you could fucking feel it. You could feel it at this event. It's like they actually had fun. So, yeah. Yeah. And then Shopify capping it all off. They had their welcome back moment. They lost to Kraken Seas and Swiss. They had to complete the reverse sweep against Inconceivable. They lost to Luminon to be sent to losers bracket. And then they had to fight through Kraken Seas, Inconceivable, and Luminon once again, this time in the grand finals, to win the tournament. Oh. This is awesome. This event was so fucking cool. And I'm so glad it happened in the time that it did, the way that it did. It was great. I mean, shit. It makes me wish that more tournaments were like this, right? It makes me wish we had more tournaments like this, where you get the open bracket like passion pit, but it's the whole thing. It's not just confined to the open bracket side. It's the entire fucking tournament is that vibe the whole way through. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea because I've been seeing some discourse online. We had some discourse last night about the shit talking and everything. But it's passion, man. It's just passion. Those players understand how important it is to show up and do things. They came and played in the side events. They did. They did. And we got to see some incredible games there too. It's just, it was awesome. So let me get into my overall event thoughts here. Overall, I said it's a return to form for the true Grassroots LAN. The passion, the heart, and the love of the game was shown from beginning to end. I have a couple bad things, though. Technical difficulties, delaying games and series for extended periods of time. And again, I know it's out of everybody's control. These things happen. It is what it is. I'm not, oh, fuck LVT for this. No, it is what it is. I give HCS some of the same grace. You can't predict these things to happen. They just do happen. You have to take care of them when they do. And then, Tools, I gave you and Brandon shit for this last night because I was genuinely curious as to what the fuck why they weren't there. The lack of tweets during, including clips or more throughout the majority of the tournament. Like I wasn't able to watch a lot of the event as it was happening, right? So like I had to keep up to date using the bracket link because some organization that was putting on the tournament wasn't putting out updates as the tournament was going on Twitter. Huh? It's not like you guys were busy with other shit. God damn. Costs money to have a social person. You are the social person, Tools. You are social. It's okay. Like I said, it's all good. I understand the confines of what was happening. I get it. I was just confused as to why. That's all. And yes, Frag Out, I know you and Celeste were remote. Yep. And for the record, I ain't blaming you guys. Remember, the rule is we blame Tools. That's the rule. We blame Tools. I know people have been saying we had close games and crap, but keeping it real, it always felt Shopify was mostly under control and team play is far superior than the others. I mean, you know what? I'm going to fight back against that a little bit here, Dav. You might be happy to hear this. Obviously, I think that Shopify are the best team. I think I've said that for a while now. Best man may hate me because I wasn't on their train long enough, but I got on there eventually. Here we are. So yeah, I do believe that Shopify are the best team in the league. They're the team that stuck together. They just won Worlds. They're signed for the entire year. They have that structure. They have that stability. Now they just need to continue to put that work in. That's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. They just need to make sure that they're putting that work in, that they're practicing. And I have no doubt that they will. So, with that said, one of the key things that I've said during the genuine off season before this year officially began was that the only way that I could see a team genuinely beating Shopify is if they catch them off guard. I've said that before. I'll say it a million times because that's what I believe. Okay, I may be wrong, and I'll own it if I am, but that is what I believe. I believe that Shopify are clearing away the best team, but I think a team like an LG would have an opportunity if they catch Shopify off guard, right? And I think what we saw during this weekend, was the fact that all of these players, and again, just because Shopify had just won Worlds, I wasn't necessarily expecting them to run the table this event, because this is the first time all of the players are back in a LAN environment since October. So it's been some months since we've been here. Okay? So with that said, I do want to give Kraken Seas, Inconceivable, and LG their flowers. I do. Because I think they've earned them for this LAN event. We saw what Kraken was able to do in the Swiss side of things. We saw what Inconceivable were able to do throughout the entire tournament. We saw what LG were able to do throughout the entire tournament, making it to the grand finals from the winner's side, sending Shopify to losers. That happened. And they deserve credit for that because they did it. And I said, when we were watching the games on Saturday night, not Sunday night, not last night, when we were watching the games on Saturday night, the key takeaways that I had were when Shopify continually were getting too dead, like they were too dead, not they were getting the enemy team too dead. When Shopify were continually too dead, it felt like they couldn't do anything like to get out of it. It felt like the pressure that was being put onto them, they just couldn't get out of it. And so I kept saying multiple times, I'm like, I want to see if they just wait till all four are alive and they try to make a push together as a team. Because clearly what they're trying to do isn't necessarily working out so well. So again, I have to give the flowers to the teams that showed up and competed because they did. They absolutely did. At the end of the day, Shopify were better. But I think they're the best team, so sure. To me, it's kind of expected. But that doesn't necessarily mean, Dav, that the team play for this LAN event, for this specific LAN event, was far superior than the others. There were moments, for sure. There were moments, for sure, where their team play, like they were out executing other teams, for sure. But there were other moments where it's like, oh, shit. They're really on the back foot here. Grog says the boys were undisciplined and they will be running laps for the next week. Jesus Christ. But see, that's the point I'm getting at, right? Is, to me, it all is going to depend upon what teams are actually putting in that work. That's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. Because like Royal 2 had said, teams may not want to scrim Shopify. But they want to scrim if they have the opportunity to. And if I were any of the other teams, like I get it. I get not wanting to play the best team because you want to have the better chance to beat the best team. But at the same time, if you're not playing the best team in a fucking scrim for practice, what makes you think you're going to be able to beat them when it comes real game time on LAN? I don't know. So I think it really depends on which teams are going to put in the work. The qualifiers this weekend, we're going to determine the 4 teams that earn travel coverage to DreamHack. We know Shopify are going to be there no matter what. Okay, so we know that Shopify are going to be at DreamHack no matter what. The question is, what other teams are going to be there too? What other teams are going to be there to fight against them? And we'll have to wait and see. What's FaZe up to? We're just waiting for an official announcement. That's all. We're just waiting for an official announcement on FaZe. So, I want to get to the good though, and then we'll finish things up. The good that I have here for the tournament. Considering the last time these players competed on LAN was back in October, the gameplay put on display was incredible, with unbelievable highlights, nail-biting games, upsets, and more. It was a light show all weekend long. The passion from the talent and the players, it was heard and it was seen. Like I said, everybody remembers the cycle pop-off at the end of the tournament, but that shit was happening all weekend long. You heard it in the broadcast in the background. It was so loud that you could hear it come through on the broadcast. It was fucking amazing. And now, I even put this in the good. Trust me, I can't believe it either. While it's not my cup of tea, being able to see Vacancy played at a high level on LAN was a nice change of pace considering how fast the flow of the map went. So again, it's not my cup of tea. I don't really like Vacancy. But man, if you wanted a fast-paced fucking game, you throw that map into the rotation, there's no stopping. There's no fucking stopping. It is 0 to... You're going 100 miles an hour the whole time. Like, that is... Holy shit. And then, of course, I had to throw my favorite in here. The return of the pit. The return of the pit. I'm so happy to see it back. And the fact that it's how the tournament ended. Oh my God. I couldn't have asked for anything more. I could not have asked for anything more. It was just the perfect way to finish out the event. So again, to LVT, to DSA, to the sponsors that helped put the tournament on, to all the competitors, to everybody that helped with the venue, thank you. Thank you for helping to put on a genuinely, I don't know how to word it, like once in a generation type event is what it felt like. It's truly what it felt like. So shout out to all of you. Thank you for all the work that you guys did. It really fucking showed in the broadcast. And I really hope we get to see another one in the future. I really do. Chuck, thank you so much for the gifted sub. You get a woo! Greatly appreciated there. Thank you very much. That's it, White's Edge. It was like a 2008 MLG event. That's why I said once in a generation. Brackets and VODs are all included in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show. ! Show notes in the chat, or it's in the description of the YouTube VOD when this gets published, and the description of the audio version of the show. Let's go check them out. Let's move in to some regular news. Your Halo Story, Chapter 2 by Halo Studios. Again, this is a compilation. That's the fucking word I'm looking for. It's a compilation of a bunch of different stories from the community on their love of Halo. Louis committed to the event despite the waters being rocky, and it's not guaranteed to be a success. Big kudos to him. I had my doubts, but he really led us to a great event with a vision of what to expect. Hell yeah, man. Been a minute since you pressed the wrong button. Did I press the wrong button? Did I press the wrong button? I didn't press the wrong button. What do you mean? Let's just say, Ghost, don't be fucking, like, I was scared for a second there. I'm like, did I actually? But if you want to read about the community's thoughts on like their introduction into Halo as a franchise, go read that article over on Halo Waypoint. And that's it for the regular news. We don't have Cotton or the Games Watch this week, but you can only imagine what the Rocker are doing. They're not winning. Let's get into some shout-outs. Happy belated birthday to Valerian and Jen Taylor. Happy belated birthday to you two. Hope they were great. Hope they were great. Shout out to everyone who joined in the 8s. 8 series have been going on. Shout out to everybody who's been joining in them. And then shout out to everyone who followed and subbed during the live show. We had Maxie, thank you for the follow. Beth with the 70-month resub. Brad with the follow. Nathan Bacon with the follow. Drip with the follow. Lightning with the follow. Swag Proof with the follow. Colby Wan Kenobi, still a great name. Thank you for the follow as well. And Chuck, thank you for the gifted sub. You all get a woo! Greatly appreciated. Rocker beat FaZe yesterday. Whoop-de fucking do. It's online. It doesn't even fucking matter. Good for them. I've just been burned. I've been burned so much by them. I've been burned so much by them. Such is life of being a Minnesota fan of sports and esports, I guess you could say. Noodle says, shout out to the people who are going to be playing MCC 8s after the show is over. Yes, absolutely, Noodle. Shout out to you, Noodle, actually, for wanting to put this on in the first place. Noodle's been wanting to put on some MCC 8s for a little while now, and so we put out a little poll out there, asked what people would be interested in playing for some MCC 8s, and they're going to kick some off tonight after the show's over, which means that's my cue to hurry the fuck up so they can get more folks to join in on those MCC 8s. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So shout out to you, Noodle, and yes, shout out to everybody who's going to join in on those, and I hope they go well. I really do. And also, yes, I do know that COD Online does matter in more regard because there are genuine points on the line, which genuinely impacts seeding for the major. Some teams may not be included because of their standings. I understand. But it's online COD we're talking about. You guys know where I'm getting at. Community creations, Halo memes every day, reddit.com/r/Halo memes. I'm getting fucking congested for no reason right now, and this sucks. Community spotlight for February 20th, 2026 by Halo Studios. Go check that out. Lots of fun stuff in there. Echoes of the Arena, Lights LAN Legacy, Halo World Championship 2020, that Mythic blog by Mythic Gaming. Go check that out. It's a great video. It's a long one, but it's a fun one. You may see a little Pro Talk in there. I don't know. TSG Warzone, Halo 5 Warzone inspired experience made in Halo Infinite 4 just by Occam. The trailer, the game modes, and the maps are included in the show notes. Go check them out. If you want to play some Warzone, not Call of Duty Warzone, if you want to play some like Halo 5 Warzone in your Halo Infinite, it's there for you now. You can go check them out. There's 2 game modes. There's the normal experience and the ultra experience, and there's 2 maps, Skirmish at Dark Star and March on World's End. Links, as always, in the show notes. Go check it out. Fulcrum, no need to thank me, my friend. Thank you guys for making the content. Thank you. Holy shit. My nose is pissing me off right now. But you know what? It's a perfect timing because it's time to close out the show anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for episode 430. As for your plugs, you can find the show everywhere. Just search for HCS Pro Talk. Fucking god damn it, Ghost. Ghost with the 25 bits. Thank you, sir. You motherfucker. You can find the show everywhere. Just search for HCS Pro Talk. It's on iTunes. It's on Podbean. It's on Stitcher. It's on Spotify. It's on my favorite Pocket Cast, which is not an ad, but I like the app. I wish that people didn't have to pay a monthly subscription fee anymore for the better features. I wish it was still just a one-time purchase like it used to be. But fucking companies these days, you know what I mean? Got a link tree. All the social links are over there. On Discord, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, which is right here. TikTok. Shout out Juan for all the shorts content. And the merch, which is still available. It's available right now. Go check it out if you're interested. And then, of course, you can head on over to hcsprotalk.com, which will take you to haloevolve.co, which is your home for Halo. And you can check out all the Podcast Evolved shows, which are Podcast Evolved, Mission Debrief, Halo TV Plus, Book Club Builds with Box, Halo Headlines, and Halo Gear Guide. Go check them out. What a fucking weekend. Shout out LVT. Shout out DSA. Shout out all the competitors. Shout out all the fucking fans out there watching the fucking tournaments. Shout out competitive Halo. Because it's fucking awesome. Knack! Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. And that's it for the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Maybe FaZe will announce their fucking roster. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, bye-bye!